moment with me. My name is Miss Lizzie. I don't ever smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some Dissins. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to rhyme. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome guys. Miss Liz is back, and that's right. I have Corey Dissin in the house, and we're going to talk about his tea tonight. And his tea is tactical empowerment and accountability. 3 words that Miss Liz loves. But before we get started, we're going to get everybody over to Miss Liz's YouTube channel, Spotify, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those good platforms, and get you to like, subscribe, follow, and we're going to get these tea times out because each tea time does make a difference with someone. And we're going to have everybody listen to the middle of tea time tonight because Miss Liz is going to switch up a little bit. That's right. I'm going to get you to listen to the whole damn show. That's the way Miss Liz is rolling. I'm going to do some little twists and turns with tonight's tea time. So let's get started with disclaimer and an intro, and let's get Corey in here and let's spill some tea together. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz's Tea Time is a global platform dedicated to sharing real life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I'm Miss Liz is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content brought forward during any Tea Time show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Tea Time platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guest viewers and participants are responsible for using their own judgment when considering any action or decision that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Tea Time with Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have any questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of the discussion, you're welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email, bookingmissliz@gmail.com, or visit Miss Liz's Linktree. By choosing to participate and comment on or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Miss Liz, welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect those wishes and decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Tea Time with Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness one cup at a time. And let me give you a little bit about Corey. Tonight's Tea Time gets tactical. I'm going to pour a conversation brewed with grit, consistency, and no excuses as I welcome Corey Dissin, the business bodyguard, high performance coach, and branding strategist who teaches the world how to chip away until it's done. From Philadelphia roots to a California mindset, Corey built a framework that turned hustle into habit, the Shawshank plan. Inspired by one of cinema's most powerful lessons in patience and purpose. He's the man behind hundreds of personal brands, guiding entrepreneurs to stop guessing, start executing, and making each moment count. His T, tactical empowerment and accountability, the formula for turning potential into performance and consistent action one at a time. Let's welcome Corey in and have a strong tea together. Welcome, Corey.
How you doing, Miss Liz? It's great to see you. That's a hell of an introduction. I'll do my best to live up to it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I love having guests like you, Corey, because you're the guy that says no excuses, right? Let's just get to the gritty and let's do it. And that's what I like about guests like you, Corey.
Thank you. Well, that's how we live. You got to go get it. It's written on everything I do. Go get it. Period. Don't talk about it. Don't wish for it. Don't dream about it. Go get it. Do it.
So, Corey, I'm going to take you down the first rabbit hole tonight. Who was Corey as a little guy, and who's Corey now?
Well, when I was a little guy, I literally was a little guy. I used to get ridiculed from friends and joked around by my family because I was basically a fire hydrant with feet till I was about 16 years old. I was I would like to think a pretty smart kid. Grade school, high school, I didn't get a B until college. Dare I say I was an athlete that young? I played organized baseball all the way through high school, was captain of my high school baseball team, played a little bit of semi-pro as I got a little older, but I was just a kid that always wanted to be in charge, always wanted to be the leader, the captain, etc. It started really young.
Well, see, it starts as a little guy and then got into the big guy, right?
Yeah, the big guy came, the man weight came with the weights and all that stuff. And then I found out I looked a lot better when I shaved my head, so that helped too.
Well, Mr. Clean had a good look going on, right?
Hey, it's low maintenance. That's my style. It goes with the brand. So,
well, Corey, I want to get into some of the questions that came in for you tonight, and I want to get out your book as well. So I'm going to pull up the book first, and then we're going to get into the questions. But if you could tell my audio listeners out there what's on the cover, what it looks, why the colors, and the message that's on top of the book.
Well, I wanted to make sure the name of the book is called Going the Distance, DISS. Obviously, it's a play on my last name, Dissin. And it also has a sort of a boxing theme. You can, imagine, I don't want to sound too boastful, but a guy that looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock is standing inside of a ring, and he's, flexing and screaming. It's the picture's taken in a boxing ring, and the whole point is it's 10 rounds to a championship life and career.
Let's talk about those 10 rounds because I found a little bit about that. Let's talk about those 10 rounds, Corey.
Well, the first thing is I wanted my book to be something different, just even in the presentation, how you were to approach the book. I'm a boxing fan. I trained as a boxer. I trained with boxers. I did a lot of work for boxing promoters. Boxing had a central theme throughout my life. And quite frankly, life is a fight. So I figured this is a great opportunity to wrap a book around things that are like boxing. So instead of chapters, we have rounds. And at the end of every round, we have a scorecard. And that's the lesson that you learn, that I learned, that I share with you, very much like at the end of the round. So I wanted to take people through, the early rounds when I was younger, and then it kind of progresses and to near modern day. The book probably ends up around 2023. But you get the whole gist from me, as 8, 9, 10 years old, all the way up to in my 50s.
Wow. And I like that you did that. Rounds instead of chapters. I did the same thing with my book. My book was T's instead of chapter 1. Chapter 2 was T1, T2. You got to create interest. You got to create interest, and you want to give people a reason to read it. I mean, I've had my eyes on enough self-help books that there's grass growing that is more exciting. Right.
So I wanted to do something that was like, okay, as soon as you pick this up, you don't want to put it down, and it doesn't take you forever to get through. Most people who read my book, they go through it cover to cover in a couple hours. It's very short. It's like 135 pages, and I wanted it to be that way on purpose because I wanted it to be a rapid fire series of stories, anecdotes that was easy to digest and easy to make it through.
I like that, rapid fire. I like this language. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get it done, right?
Do I look like a guy who sits around? No.
No.
Action, 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 period. That's it.
We have a question here. It says, get busy living or get busy dying. What does the quote mean to you, and how did it shape your Shawshank plan as a philosophy for life and business?
So the term that I coined, Shawshank plan, was actually done retroactive. I didn't figure out the connection to the movie until after I made the plan, but I knew it was an escape plan for me at the time. Number one, because I was in a situation where I was working for a company for a long time, was very unfulfilled, kind of felt trapped, kind of felt like I wanted to break out. But I needed to strategize a way to do it that wouldn't create a conflict, that wouldn't create a tension, and that was done slowly and deliberately over time. So you can see, if you've seen the Shawshank Redemption, everything I just described to you is very much how Andy Dufresne handled his prison sentence in the Shawshank Redemption. Get busy living or get busy dying. Look, that goes right with my slogan of go get it. A lot of people are always waiting for the perfect time to do X, Y, or Z. They're waiting until they have the right amount of money. They're waiting when it's convenient. They're waiting. There's always some yes, but. Yes, I want to do it, but my attitude is get busy now. Do it now. Figure it out now. Don't talk about it. Do it. And what really cemented it for me was, this was like the icing on the cake, is when my mother passed away, because that just was a splash of cold water to me. That's like, okay, I always, even though my mother died at 77 years old, she was always a younger woman. And for her to go so quick, I'm in my 50s. I'm thinking, man, I'm only a stone's throw from that myself. What am I waiting for? So, that kind of was like, okay, it confirmed everything I wanted to do and everything I was doing, to get busy living, to do what I want to do. I'm not a big fan of asking permission. I'm not a big fan of having to check with somebody. I want to do what I want to do. A lot of people say that they want that independence and they want that freedom, but they're not willing to put in the work to guarantee that freedom.
Yep.
And a lot of what I share in the book are these collection of lessons that I kind of stack and interchange, almost like a giant game of Jenga. And they all kind of mix in with each other that help me make decisions in my life in this sort of Forrest Gumpian experience that I've had, to make a life. Some people make a living. I'm trying to make a life.
Right? There's a big difference.
Huge.
Big difference. And I hear it all the time. Miss Liz, I want to write a book. Mrs. I want to do a podcast. Mrs. I want to. Then do it. Just do it. Like, get up and do it. There's so many excuses out there that
I'm not a fan.
I love your t-shirt, like your t-shirt, F excuses, and what's
consistent.
Be consistent.
Be consistent. You don't have to eat the elephant in one bite.
Right.
But if you consistently take little bites, before you know, you eat the whole elephant. But everyone, people that hem and haw and drag their feet, they're too concerned with the outcome, whatever that outcome is. They stare at that outcome and they go, that is so far away. That is so hard for me to achieve, as if they were looking at Mount Everest. And I say, don't look at the summit. Look at your feet. Take one step in front of the other. And eventually, when those steps collect in the aggregate, you will get to the top of your mountain. And a lot of times what I help people do is determine what steps to take, what order, and impress upon them to keep taking the steps.
Yeah. But we got to start with the step, right? Like, get to step one.
Precisely.
Corey, I want to ask you something. As a coach and as a strategist, have you ever turned someone away because they weren't consistent?
It's happened. I try not to. I give a long leash, because if they knew what they were doing already and they were receptive and working with my style from the jump, they wouldn't need me. So I understand that they're wired a little different from the beginning, but there are a lot of people that I've worked with. Let me rephrase that. There are certain people that I've worked with where we've just tried everything, and no matter what we've tried to implement or what accountability exercises we put into place, every time we come back to meet again, the work wasn't getting done. And I've had to say, what are we doing here? You paid me money. You paid me a lot of money. I'm not cheap. I said, I know when I put out a lot of money for something, I want to squeeze every drop of juice out of that lemon if I'm investing. And the last thing I want to do is not do what that other person I paid for told me to do. And keep in mind, I've used coaches, good ones, and paid them a king's ransom. And I'm using a coach right now for something. And, what he tells me, I fulfill it to the letter of the law because I handed that gentleman over my hard-earned cash. And there's been times where I said, look, I just don't think this is going to work. So we've cut their contract short. I've refunded money. I've given you, I'm not going to take your money if you're not going to do the work. When I put my head down at the pillow at night, I want to know that I'm helping people and they're implementing what I'm telling them.
Well, that's why I asked that question, right, Corey? Because there's so many coaches out there that will just take the money, right? And they'll just like, well, if you don't want to do the work, don't do the work, just pay me. Where they're not consistent, right? So we got to look at the coach and say, is the coach really noticing that we're not doing the work and saying we're not a good fit,
Yeah, I mean, I try to do my best and screen people. We have something called a discovery call, DISS, wink, wink, to find out, to get questions answered, to share information, to make sure it's a nice match, and also to lay out all the expectations so they know what they're really getting. So there's no surprises. But sometimes, no matter how much you disclose, there's another one. No matter how much you disclose, some people have selective hearing.
And the reason that I did that, Corey, was to get those discs out there because we got a lot of discipline coming.
Keep them, teeing them up for me. I just love that.
I have a twisted sense of humor here and a way of getting things out of my guests.
You and me are going to get along famous.
We just go into the next question because the next question is, you built your reputation on discipline and daily consistency. What does discipline day actually look like behind the scenes for you, Corey?
For me. Okay.
For you.
So
then we'll get to the others, but we're gonna do you, Corey.
No problem. I'm more than happy to share. I actually share this every day. If people follow me on social media, I basically take you along as my co-pilot anyway. But for the folks who haven't seen it, I'll give you an idea what that looks like. Here's a little snapshot. So I get out of bed anywhere between 4 and 4:15 a.m. And then I have a series of non-negotiable household chores I do right when I wake. That's make the bed, make sure the dishes are done, laundry's folded, trash is out, all those things. So I know my house is in order before I start my day. I can't stand disorder. I got you there. And then I'll have a quick message check of email, DMs. Then it's off to the gym for workout number 1. And that's usually a fasted cardio workout of some sort. Stairmaster, incline treadmill, elliptical, something where I'm getting my heart rate up and burning some calories. Then I come home, have a recovery meal. Then it's a little more dedicated time in my office where I'm sitting right now. This is at my desk where I'm posting content for the day. Maybe doing some agendas for some of my clients that day for their coaching calls. And there's usually a second piece of content that goes up. Then I go back to the gym again for workout number 2. That's usually around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's usually some type of heavy object that I'm lifting up and putting back down a couple of times. That's about 2 hours on site there. Come back, eat again. Then that middle part of the day is my client time. That's usually from about noon Pacific to about 3 Pacific. I'll take 3-4 client calls. And I try to wrap my day up around that time because at that point I'm up almost 12 hours already. So that's time to spend with my wife, time to go hang out with my youngest son who happens to be home right now, whatever, run errands, grocery shop, or if we're going to go with a Wednesday night, we'll hit karaoke. I'll sing a few bars, which is fun. But I rinse and repeat that routine 7 days a week. I don't always have clients, which is fine. I don't mind that. There's some days I have, like today, I had no client calls. Tomorrow, I have 4, as an example. But it varies. I try not to do any more than 4 in a day because I get hyped up during them, and it's like carrying a piano up a mountain. You do too many of those in a row, it burns you. It's harder than lifting the heavy weights. But I'm a boring guy. Very boring. If I joke, if you ever wanted to assassinate me, you know exactly where I am. You know exactly what I'm doing at most any point in the day because I do the same thing every day. You know why? I don't have to think about what to do. I know what to do before the day starts. It's so much easier that way. Now, occasionally you get curveballs, things you got to handle. You get some inbound, but because my schedule is so regimented, I have windows where I can handle, the variables. But that's my day. It's not fancy. I don't, drive a fancy car. I don't live in a fancy house. I live in a very affluent area in Southern California. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a wealthy man. I'm a rich man when it comes to time because I spend it with who I want and when I want and how I want.
And that kind of goes right into the next question. See how this just flows? The tea just flows in this house. Perfect. Right? And then we're going to talk about you teach the QTL. What is the QTL?
QTL stands for quality time left. And that is a saying that I learned from a football coach named Jimmy Johnson, who used to coach the Dallas Cowboys. Let's keep in mind, I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. Sorry, Cowboy fans, but I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But I do respect how he approached the game. And that was something a philosophy that he took on after he retired. He wanted to have quality time left, time with his family. That became the most important currency to him. And that resonated with me. I was like, I get that. I was fortunate to work in a career in broadcast advertising for almost 30 years. I was the vice president of the company. I made a severe amount of cash. I owned other businesses and sold them. I made some good decisions financially so that I didn't necessarily have to worry about having enough money. Okay. So what's important to me is, yes, I want to earn money. I want to pay my bills. I have a value to what I do. But if I have the choice between bending over backwards and trying to cut my rate in half or leaving that hour open to spend with my wife, you can bet your rear end I'm spending it with my wife. I get up every morning, and in the midst of my routine, I have coffee with my wife every morning. I have dinner with my wife every evening. We hang out several times per week. We go out together on the weekend. We can fly whenever we want to see either of our children because nothing holds us back. That is the quality time I'm talking about. And I try to profess that in my book to my clients. Like at some point, the material stuff is going to lose its luster. Okay. I sold my big 4-bedroom house. I sold my Mercedes and my Jaguar, my Harley Davidson, and I got rid of all that stuff because it's like carrying a giant weight around your neck. Okay. It's a lot of responsibility. You don't need it. What you need, you can't get back the time. Yeah. Your life doesn't come with rollover minutes. You get what you get. You got one at bat in this thing. You better make the most of it. And that's all goes with the go get it, the F excuses, all that stuff, because it all ties together. And if I don't live my life that way and lead by example, how can I, with a straight face, accept money from someone if I'm telling them to do it? Little thing called integrity.
Right. And it's really important, like when we say we're going to do something, but we want somebody else to do it, but we're not doing it, then why work with us? That's my biggest pet peeve is a lot of people say, well, I do this and I do this. And I'm okay, but do you do it for yourself? No. Oh, then I'm not sure. Right.
It makes no sense.
You mentioned something about make the bed. I'm a big believer, and I've told this to my kids. I don't care if you clean your house or not, but make your bed.
I'm a little OCD with that. I've never been in the military. My father was in the military. It's a very military type thing. I know that there's a pretty famous graduation speech given by like an admiral in the Navy who talks about how important it is to make your bed. It sets the tone for your entire day. No matter what happens in your day, you started your day by creating order from chaos. It's a very simple thing, and it also gives you something to look forward to at the end of the day, that you are returning to bed in a very orderly, neat fashion. And I found folks that are slobs in their homes are slobs in their lives, slobs in their business.
Yep.
I just can't stand disorder.
I'm a little OCD. Like, my kids know it. I'm always like, make your bed. I don't care how old you are, make your bed, because that starts your day. If you can't make your bed, you're not starting a good day. There's something off.
I couldn't agree with you more. If I was one of your children, I wouldn't get punished.
My kids sometimes tell me, Corey, Mom, you're like a drill sergeant. And I was like, no, just make your bed. Because once you make your bed, then you go in, you have your breakfast, then you go in and you start your day. Then it's the process, it's the beginning. And at the end of the night, you go to bed and you have a fresh, clean bed instead of a sloppy bed, right? Because then you're going in and having sloppy dreams and sloppy hopes for the next day. Like,
exactly. Sets the tone for everything. Sloppy bed is a sloppy desk, is a sloppy car, is a sloppy checkbook, is a sloppy appearance. Everything. I mean, I'm no fashion model, but I'm neat at least.
That's why we get along so good. But Corey, I had a question that came in while you were talking, and it says you work with big voices and small startups alike. What's the one branding mistake that holds most people back, and the simplest way to fix it?
Oh, that's a great question. What I would say is the branding mistake, a big branding mistake that people make is they don't understand that branding is both a noun and a verb.
Oh.
Okay. Branding, the noun, that's what everybody pretty much gets. That's your logo, your colors, your slogan, your font, all that window dressing, all that stuff, your skin, right? Most everybody gets that. They get that part right, but they mistakenly believe because branding the noun is done, then the branding is done. That's where they swing and miss. Branding the verb is all of the action you must take to deploy branding the noun and sustaining that effort for a long period of time. That's the big mistake folks make. They think their entrepreneurship or their freelance business is field of dreams, meaning if they build it, then it will come. It doesn't. You got one toe in the water after you build it. The real heavy lifting comes with, do you have it on all your social profiles? Are you including it in content? Are you creating a branding lexicon or a vocabulary, of glossary of words that fit in with your brand? We've been doing it all during this interview, you and I. Okay. You do it with tea. It's all over the place. You have 38 teapots behind your head. That's not an accident.
You're in my actual tea room.
Okay, but I get it. But I get what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. You're smart. Most folks don't understand that, aren't willing to do it, or they're lazy and they don't want to do it because they say, I'm afraid to put myself out there. Well, let me see something. If you're an entrepreneur and you're afraid to put yourself out there, here's my advice to you. Go find yourself a nice, cushy 9-to-5 job working for somebody else, because you ain't cut out to be an entrepreneur, because that's your whole job, is putting yourself out there every day, unapologetically, and not being afraid for someone to not approve you or to disapprove you. God, I just missed that one.
There we go. You almost it slid in like a good
I got it in there
home
last
base
minute.
there.
So
We just finished the World Series here, right? Like,
so whoever asked that question, I hope that was a good answer for you.
and that's the first time I've heard about the verb, the branding of the verb. Because a lot of people do not do that. They do the logo, they do the branding colors, they do all of that, but they don't think of the action and the message and all of that after work, right?
That's the hard part.
And a lot of people, I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, well, where's the verb part? Like, I'm glad that you put that verb part in there because you made me think about some stuff too. So thanks for that, Corey.
You're welcome. You're a free coaching tip from Corey Dissin today.
I learn something every time I have a new guest on this platform because I pay attention and I take my notes and I do my homework.
That's awesome. I'm glad we could help.
Another question that came in is the Shawshank plan is about chipping away daily. What's one small chip that made a big breakthrough for you or a client?
Man, there's so many things that I chip. I chip away at 75 things a day, every day. But just being able to wake up early every day. People like, when I tell people what time I wake up, they give me that RCA dog look like, what? 4 o'clock in the morning? What are you doing at 4 o'clock in the morning? But that in and of itself sets a pattern, sets a tone, because my feeling is if you get up early, you can do more between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. than most people do in a week. Generally, society is quiet during that time. You can get a lot of uninterrupted thinking, strategizing, and action taking done during those 4 hours. And then you give yourself the power to determine what your entire afternoon and evening looks like. You're not cramming for the exam. It brings the blood pressure way down when you get up that early. But, wake up times, chipping away at what I eat. Like, what I eat is very regimented. I eat the same probably 10, 12 foods every day. And sometimes I'll mix them up in different combinations, but I eat around the same time. I eat the same portion. It just takes the thought out of it. Posting content, connecting with people on social media. Those things are not negotiable. I do them every day, a little bit at a time. I joke I can count to 10 better than anybody because I count to 10 all the time. 10 invites, 10 posts, etc. So I 10 reps at the gym. I just break it down in little pieces like that. But I can go on and on and on about that. But, I would start with the wake up time is a big one.
Well, and a lot of stuff does get done in the morning, right? And there's so many clubs out there that entrepreneurs can join in the early morning between, I think it's called the 5 a.m. club or something.
That's a thing. But it's just for me, I'm extremely focused at that point. I'm at my most productive. You got me now. I'm like in a drunken stupor at this point. I'm like, whoa, this is late, man. This past my bedtime. But and I say that half in jest, but I'm probably even more sharp. I'm sharper 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 10 a.m., right around then.
Well, Corey, I want to talk about the business bodyguard.
Okay.
Where'd you get the business bodyguard?
That is a moniker that I came up with. As Rocky said about the Italian style, no, I invented that. I mean, look at me. I'm not a small guy. I walk around 240 pounds with abs, and I'm not your average bear. I used to be a doorman at nightclubs, so I walk that walk too. And I've always felt, whether I've been a manager, a supervisor, a captain, a coach, I've always felt like a big brother. And you want your big brother to be able to handle his business, to be tough. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to physically hurt somebody, but you can be imposing without throwing a punch. You can be authoritative and assertive without being violent. And it gives people peace of mind knowing that this guy's got my back. And I tell everybody, ain't nobody gonna mess with you. I use a different word than mess. Rhymes with truck. No one's going to mess with you when I'm on the clock.
And I found that on your site. Corey's getting your back.
I get your back, period.
Get your back.
Because life is tough. Business is tough. It's very unforgiving. And I've been fortunate to have a lot of experience in that arena. I've been throwing a lot of curveballs. I've dealt with a lot of adversity. I've dealt with a lot of interesting people and personalities. And I'm tough to stump. And I'm virtually impossible to intimidate. It takes a real interesting person to intimidate me. And I haven't met too many of them yet. And the last one I knew, I just buried him in May. That was my dad.
Well, sorry for that, Corey.
No worries.
Corey, I want to talk about what you offer. When people go to your website, what could they find on your website?
Well, they're going to be mesmerized at the photography, number one. I'm saying that in jest. I made you laugh again, so that was the beauty of that. Well, they're going to find they can hire me to be their coach, whether that is for marketing and business or if it's for high performance and life coaching. They're going to find that I own another company called the Dissin Design Team, where we're making websites and logos and social media graphics and content and reels. And they're going to find that we have virtual assistant services that if I can't teach you to do it, well, hell, I'll do it for you. Basically, I basically give you access to my team, the team that does things for me. They could do it for you too. When they also go to my website, they're going to see like a Netflix style gallery of all of the other Miss Liz Teatimes shows that I've been on. There's probably 70 of them, and all the articles I've been interviewed for in the different publications. They're going to see another, Netflix gallery of testimonials, one video after another of people going on camera and vouching for the services that I provided. And these guys don't have a gun to their head; they're giving them to me at their own free will. So I like to share that social proof. Because I could say all day long that I'm the best coach around and you should hire me and I'm so great. Well, I think it's much better to have my clients say that for me.
Absolutely, 100%. So Corey, we're going to switch it up. We're going to do some Twisted Tea. Where can people find that website, and can you spell it out for the audio listeners?
You got it. It's CoreyDissin.com, DISSIN, CoreyDissin.com.
See, because all of my listeners like to go to the beginning or the end to get these websites and information for the audio listeners. You know who you are. So that's why Miss Liz twisted it up tonight. Corey, I have some fast round lightning bolt questions here for you that I'm going to throw out to you. One word that fuels your day.
One word. Say that again.
One word that fuels your day.
One word that fuels my day is consistency.
Why?
Because consistency over time yields results.
Awesome. Black represents?
Power.
Ooh, like it. Morning routine must do.
We said make your bed, wash your dishes, fold your laundry, take out the trash, go to the gym.
Give your wife a kiss.
I give her 2 or 3 or 4. She's saying, get off me and leave already. She's telling me.
A quote that never leaves your desk.
A quote that never leaves my desk. Well, because it's in my head. Okay. And that's when you speak to someone, you don't just hear them, you listen. That's courtesy of my father.
Awesome.
He drilled that into my head from diapers until the day he passed. He gave me one of these. Don't just hear them. Listen. It's in the book too, and the whole story behind it.
I like a man who talks with his hands.
Oh man, that hand! Let me tell you, that was like a jackhammer. If he poked you with that hand, that left a bruise. And I earned a couple of them too. Trust me.
Hardest lesson entrepreneurship has taught you, Corey?
The hardest lesson is that no one is as passionate about what I do and how I do it as me. And that's tough for me to accept because I think there ain't no other way. How could you not do it this way? It's like bizarre. But I have to get over that because people are different.
Your most disciplined habit.
My most disciplined habit. Boy, I mean, we just rattled through a ton of them, but I don't miss going to the gym. I don't mean I don't miss the experience. I mean, I don't not go. I go if I'm not feeling good, if I have a runny nose, if my tummy hurts, if I'm running late, I always go to the gym just so I know that I went. And some of that is a bit of just of a social thing too, to be out amongst other people. It's just part of the fiber of my day. It's not optional.
And 3 words clients should feel after coaching with you.
They should feel confident. They should feel empowered. And they should feel energetic.
Ooh. One story that sticks out to you, Corey, over your coaching time
About a client.
about a client.
So I'll share this one with you. This is sort of recent, but I've had a coaching client that has been with me since 2019. A very established actor, announcer, lived in Manhattan. He was doing, guest bits on Saturday Night Live, was doing voice work for big name brands. And he told me, he said, man, I want to move to Southern California and I want to be near the studios where all the animation, Hollywood, Burbank, all that stuff. He said, but I just don't know how to do it. I own an apartment in the city, and if trying to unload an apartment in New York is no easy feat. And we put together his Shawshank plan. It took us 20 months of hard work. And let me tell you something, in September, it is now November of 2025, 2 months ago, this gentleman moved, cut the cord, and is living in Studio City, California right now. And he is chasing his dream. And it's because he put in the work step by step, consistently over time. He got the result he wanted.
I love it. That's what it is, Corey, the consistency, right? Like you said, 2019, 20 months of work, and then to find out that it actually happened. Taking those baby steps and
it was amazing. It was an emotional moment. I can't lie. It was an emotional moment for him. My wife and I were like, oh my God, you did it. We went and met him and took him out for dinner, and it was great.
And those are the moments that we got to remember, right? Is the impact that we're making in life and difference, with each of our clients and that and guests.
That's the whole purpose. It's like I got to pass it along. I've had a great fortune. I've been very lucky in my life. I want other people around me to experience the same.
And Corey, I watched a little video about LinkedIn. What is it about LinkedIn and you?
LinkedIn. I drink the LinkedIn Kool-Aid. Let me tell you something. Look, I'm big into social media. Obviously, it's by far, in general, social media, if you're not using it to promote yourself or your business, you need to really maybe give me a call. I'll give you a little talking to. But of all of the platforms out there, I think LinkedIn is where the money's at. The business owners, the people that are making spending decisions, that's where they're looking for that. It's the right etiquette to ask for business on that platform. I've been on the platform since 2006. I've grown up with it. I've done everything organic on it. Do I have the most followers of anybody? No, I'm not Gary Vaynerchuk, but I have 11,000 organic followers that I built from the ground up. And that's become part of the fiber of my day, just like brushing my teeth. And quite frankly, when I worked for that other company and was devising my Shawshank plan, see how we make this come full circle, I built that plan on the back of LinkedIn. Connected with people, cultivated relationships with people, turned leads into clients from people on LinkedIn. And I got pretty good at it, so much so that I could walk away from the production company without even feeling it, because I was generating income based upon these relationships I was making on LinkedIn. And part of what I teach is, hey, let me show you what I did. You can do it too.
So it kind of goes into the question that came in. If any of the platforms were shut down, which platform would you keep? And
It's not even close. I mean, LinkedIn, I'm guarding with machine guns. I mean, that's my jam. I mean, yeah, I mean, for business, I mean, for sure. Like that's, that's part of the cash machine for the Corey Dissin companies is having a strong presence on LinkedIn. And look, for me, it's fun. I have fun on there. You can, I always tell people, have a voice, take a stand, have an opinion there. There's a big misconception out there on LinkedIn that LinkedIn is the business platform. You have to conduct yourself a certain way. And no. It's not, it's not Facebook, but it's more Facebooky than you think. And you have to stick out. I mean, there's millions of people on the platform, and there's, a fraction of them, but still a whole lot of people contributing content. Not to mention you have all this AI slop all over the place now. It's like, what are you going to do to stand out? So I have fun standing out and taking a position that maybe isn't popular on certain subjects. And, I get some pushback from it, and that's okay. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. But it's just fun. I enjoy posting. I enjoy commenting. I enjoy fielding DMs. It's as much a part of my day as checking email. It's the same thing for me.
I'm so glad that you got that out about LinkedIn, not just being a business platform, right? Because people that are looking at you and your business as well, they want to see a part of you as well. They don't want to just see business. They want to see like your ups, your downs, your roller coasters. I show everybody my roller coasters, and people are like, "Wow, she's raw." Yeah.
Well, that's called relatability,
Right?
I mean, I tell people spend money with other people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. And especially if you have a bigger ticket item that you sell, when's the last time you spent a lot of money with someone you didn't know, like, or trust? Let me give you the answer. Never.
Right.
You've never done that. So what are you going to do to get people to know you, like you, and trust you? And the way you do that is I view LinkedIn very much like a television station. Okay? Television stations do not just run commercials. Most people think for their businesses, they have to run commercials. Hire me, hire me, hire me, hire me. No, they have programming. The commercials are in between the programs. What are your programs?
Yeah.
That's people have that tough time making that jump and creating their own television programming. It doesn't necessarily have to be all about your service or your product, but it should have something to do with you.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The people that spend money have other interests than just what they do for a living.
Right?
Those people will gravitate to you, and eventually some of them will come and ask you to buy versus the other way around.
Absolutely. Well, Corey, we had some questions coming in as we were talking, and it
Okay.
says, what's the rock hammer in business most people overlook? Small daily and compounding.
To do every day, I guess. The rock hammer is the Shawshank metaphor, I'm guessing.
I'm going to guess, yeah.
Well, I mean, we hinted to a few of those earlier in the discussion. That's having, let's just take LinkedIn, for example, having consistent activity on LinkedIn. Most people say, I have a LinkedIn. That's a lot different than using LinkedIn effectively to grow your business. I would say a rock hammer is inviting people to connect with you every day. A rock hammer is commenting on other people's posts every day that aren't your peers. They're your potential clients. I would say that rock hammer is sending DMs to some of your connections to see if you can have an outside conversation with them, a phone call, a Zoom, to get to know them a little better, find out more about what they do. Posting content is a rock hammer. All four of those things. I mean, geez, I probably have 27 rock hammers in my backpack that I'm constantly swinging and smacking all over the place.
We're breaking those rocks together.
That's why I got to lift all them damn weights. I got to swing the hammer.
Well, that sledgehammer is pretty heavy and pretty pricey too. We have a question here. Content Candace versus content noise. Where's the line and how do you enforce it?
Content. What was the first part?
Kansas versus content noise. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I'll take a guess at what some of that is. I think there's a flaw in the question, meaning there's judgment. Oh, I shouldn't put this out because it's just kind of shtick or something like that. You need to go with your gut and put out what you think is best. Keeping in mind, develop your programming. It's not just commercials, but don't worry about what somebody else thinks of it. Even if, I tell this to my clients all the time. Let's say someone has the audacity to either call you, DM you, or comment on your post and say, that was the dumbest waste of time you could have ever put on the internet. Okay? Worst case scenario. Believe it or not, I would tell that person, the person who posted it, you still won. You know why? Because they looked at it. They saw it. They remembered it. They made the conscious decision to call you out on it. That means you got them right where you want them. The whole point of being visible on a LinkedIn or social media is to, ready, create attention. It's not to be liked. Okay. You want people to, that eventually the people will buy from you, will know you, like you, trust you. But to start with, you need to create attention. Now, don't create attention to be a jerk, just for attention's sake. But you can't be afraid to say what you think about a particular subject or whatever it is. Put it out there. You know what? Beta test. Mess up. Maybe put something out there that gets just totally panned. All right, now you just learned something. Don't do that again. Don't touch that. It's hot over there. Let's do something different. I mean, on a bad day, I'm putting out 3, 4, 5, 6 posts a day. On a bad day. I didn't know I could do that on day one or after year one. It took time to develop, to figure out what buttons I could push, what I could get away with, what's a total dud, and I always tell my clients too that don't judge the success of your social media marketing on any one given post.
Exactly.
It's the aggregate of posts. Don't just put the next one out. If that one stinks, put another one out. If that one's great, put another one out. Just keep
doing it.
Yes.
We're in a society, Corey, where people are just likes and loves. Oh, well, that one didn't get enough, so let me delete it. Well, you know what? Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. So whether you take it off or not. And it's like you said, right? You get that attention. You get people looking. And if they say, well, that was a rotten post, well, you took the time to look at it. Get feedback.
There's a tremendous amount of self-doubt and second guessing. Yeah. And everyone wants someone to say, here is the perfect formula for content, Mr. and Mrs. Entrepreneur. They're waiting for that. So they don't post anything because no one has it. There is no, if someone's selling you the perfect formula, run. Even if it's a penny, don't spend it because it ain't worth it. Content takes trial and error. What works for me doesn't work for Miss Liz. What works for Miss Liz doesn't work for you, and so on and so forth. Your content voice, and I don't mean speaking voice, I mean your graphic, visual, whatever, what you type, that voice evolves over time. And the only way you can truly allow it to evolve is to do it over time. You have to do it again and again and again until you get really good at it. And it's not a chore. It's not something like, oh, I have to think of a post today. I never do that. I never say I have to think of a post today. It just, boom. It's part of my language. You develop a set of lenses, believe it or not, that you start looking at the world and you say, that's interesting how that could be a piece of content. Or I could talk about that subject, something you see in the wild or something you interact with, or another post. I did a series of posts in the past 2 days simply because I saw somebody else write something on a particular subject. I had no intention of talking about that, but when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I got to punch back on that. Here we go. Start typing.
There's a punchline. There's round 10, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Knockout.
Boom.
So, Corey, I want to wrap it up with your T. Your T was tactical, empowerment, and accountability. Why those three words for your T?
I mean, look, tactical implies strategy. You got to have a plan. You got to know what you're doing. You have to, think it out. You can't just, think on your feet all the time. There's got to be intent. There's got to be steps. And I tell people to write things down all the time. So being tactical is writing your plan. I mean, empowerment, we've been saying this the whole discussion. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. So with social media and the technology and just the culture anymore, canceling and all this kind of stuff, everyone's worried about putting themselves out there. You have to be willing to put your head in the guillotine. You have to be worried that blade could come down. Oh well, you keep going. But have the strength, have the guts and the nuts to go after it. And then accountability, you got to be responsible. You're going to say you're going to do something, do it. And if you don't do it, be an adult enough to accept being called out on it. I tell all my clients there's only 6 inches between a pat on the back and a kick in the butt.
Well, and the things that you gave me for your tactical was no fluff. Empowerment was both consistent action to goals, accountability, showing up, checking in, holding clients to Shawshank plan until it's done. So, Corey, for the Shawshank plan, can you tell my listeners out there how they can reach out to you and connect with you again? Because I want them to connect with you, Corey.
I appreciate that. I mean, obviously go to the website, CoreyDissin.com. If you Google my name and you can't find me, I'm the most terrible marketing guy you've ever met. There's tons of content and articles on me. I'm a pretty easy guy to find. Hell, stick your head out the window and yell. I might just hear you.
You might discover.
I might discover you. Well said. Kudos. Fist bump to you. CoreyDissin.com is the easiest. You can link to all of my social platforms there, but I'm on the big 4 that I call LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and X. I'm on YouTube as well. I'm not a hard guy to find, and I'll be very responsive if you happen to reach out, especially if you mention Miss Liz's name.
Well, thank you so much, Corey. Corey, final message for everybody out there who's listening and who may listen to the replay later.
Life is short. You can't put it in the casket with you. Go get it. Go get it. What are you waiting for? The next planetary alignment, I think, is in 2567 or something. Okay? You're not going to be alive to see it. If you're waiting for that perfect moment, for the money to be right, or if you're waiting to be ready. Everybody says, oh, I'm not ready. Nobody's ready. Don't be ready. Just do it. Go screw up. Stop being afraid to mess up. It's the only way you're going to learn. Take it from a guy. I'm not a Rhodes Scholar. I don't have an MBA or a PhD. I just outworked every MFer I've ever met. And I didn't take no for an answer. You can do this. Go get it.
Well, thank you so much, Corey. It was a real pleasure having you on Tea Time. And for all the listeners out there, and for the people that sending me questions that get me all confused a little bit as well as this content Candace. I'm going to look up content Candace and find out what the heck content Candace is all about. But like Corey said during this broadcast, just get it out there. Just do it, guys. Just keep moving. So we're going to just do a closing summary, and then we're going to wrap it up. And Miss Liz will be back same time, same place, and we'll do it all over again on Thursday with 2 new guests. But tonight, as this tea time ends, one truth echoes from Corey's message. You don't need massive leaps to win, just daily chips of progress done with intention. Through the Shawshank plan and his disciplined mindset, Corey reminds us that time isn't waiting and success doesn't chase your book. It's built one decision, one boundary, and one disciplined habit at a time. You can't outsource your grind, but you can sharpen your focus. By Corey Dissin. May tonight's conversation remind you that the key to freedom in business and in life is found in consistency, accountability, and the courage to keep chipping away. Thank you all for tuning in and joining Miss Liz, and we'll do this all over again. And this is just the way we do. We spill the tea one cup at a time, and we plant a new seed with each new guest. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time on Tea Time with Miss Liz.